I am Emma, and I didn't grow up speaking English, but today I speak it with confidence and ease. How did I get here? Not by cramming grammar rules or attending dull classes. I discovered a smarter, more enjoyable way to learn, and now I'm here to help you do the same. If you are serious about improving your English and having fun along the way, you're in the right place. So before we jump in, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who wants to grow in English too. Let's grow together. Reading is a powerful tool for learning English. It doesn't just help you build your vocabulary, it also sharpens your understanding of the language and boosts your speaking confidence. When you read, you see real-life examples of how words and phrases are used. You naturally absorb grammar, learn expressions, and even begin to think in English. A lot of learners focus only on speaking and listening, but reading is just as essential. It helps you recognize words more quickly, understand how sentences are formed, and get a feel for how English sounds in context. In this video, we'll explore why reading is such a game changer, and how you can turn it into a daily habit that transforms your English. Ready? Let's get started. If you are learning English and not reading regularly, you're missing out on one of the easiest and most effective ways to improve. Let me show you how. When you read, new words come to you like gifts. No pressure, no flashcards, just you and the story. For example, imagine you're reading a fun comic and you see this line. Mia was furious when her brother messed up her painting. Even if you've never seen the word furious before, you can tell it means something like very angry, right? That's the beauty of learning through context. You don't just memorize words, you feel them. Plus, you'll notice how words like mad, angry, upset, and furious are used in different situations. This gives you more ways to express yourself and sound more fluent. Let's be honest, grammar rules can feel like math class, not always fun. But reading shows you how grammar works in real life. It's like learning by osmosis. For instance, if I had known about the event, I would have gone. That's a tricky sentence if you try to break down the rule. But if you see enough sentences like that while reading stories, news articles, or even Instagram captions, your brain starts recognizing the pattern automatically. You'll learn sentence structures, tenses, and even punctuation without opening a grammar book. Reading sharpens your brain to understand not just words, but meaning and emotion too. Let's say you're reading a blog post about someone's travel adventure. You might come across, "The view from the mountain was breathtaking. I stood there in silence, taking it all in." Even if you don't know the word breathtaking, you can imagine it means something beautiful or amazing because of the emotion in the sentence. This kind of reading practice helps you stay calm and confident during real conversations, even when you don't understand every word. Reading regularly helps you absorb the rhythm and flow of real English. You start to notice how native speakers form sentences, express ideas, and build conversations, and that naturally reflects in your own speaking and writing. Let's say you're reading a dialogue in a novel. You might see a line like, "You've got to be kidding me." It's a casual, expressive phrase, something you might not learn from a textbook, but it's perfect for sounding natural in everyday conversation. When you read more, your brain starts collecting these phrases. So instead of saying, "I don't agree with that," you might say, "I'm not sure I see it that way." It's softer, more fluent, and more in tune with how native speakers talk. The same happens with writing. As you read articles, blogs, or stories, you notice how writers open paragraphs, use transitions, and end with impact. These patterns teach you how to organize your own thoughts and express them clearly, just like a native writer would. In short, reading helps you not only learn English, but live it. Reading in English isn't just about improving language skills. It's a window into how people live, think, and feel in English-speaking cultures. When you read novels, stories, or even blogs, you start to pick up on everyday customs, values, and traditions. For example, a story set during Christmas in the UK might show how families celebrate, what kinds of food they enjoy, or the importance of holiday greetings. These cultural details help you understand more than just the words. They help you see the world from another point of view. You begin to notice how humor works, how people express politeness or disagreement, and how emotions are communicated differently. This kind of cultural awareness makes you a more confident and thoughtful English speaker. You don't just speak the language, you understand the people behind it. So, reading isn't just a habit, it's a full-on language workout. It grows your vocabulary. It improves your grammar. It boosts your understanding. It makes you sound more natural. And it connects you to real people and real life. It's one of the easiest ways to level up your English, without stress, without boredom. Reading isn't just about flipping pages or scrolling through articles. It's secretly training you to speak better English too. Yep, every time you read, you're not just learning words. You're picking up rhythm, flow, sentence structure, and real-world expressions that help you communicate with ease. Let me break it down. Have you ever been in a conversation, knowing what you want to say, but struggling to find the right words? That's where reading comes in. It builds what I like to call your word bank. The more you read, the more phrases and expressions get stored in your brain, ready to pop out when you speak. Let's say you read a conversation in a novel like, "I'd love to, but I already have plans." Boom. Now instead of just saying no, you've learned a polite, natural way to decline an invitation. You didn't memorize it. You absorbed it. That's the magic of reading. Reading isn't just about grammar rules or vocabulary lists. It's about immersing yourself in how English is really spoken. Through reading, you begin to hear the voice of native speakers, the way they think, and how they use the language in day-to-day situations. Take a moment to think about how we communicate in real life. It's rarely perfect grammar or textbook sentences. Instead, we use contractions, idiomatic phrases, and even slang to sound natural. When you read, especially conversational dialogue, you get a front-row seat to this informal language. For example, in a casual conversation, you might see someone say, "I'll grab a coffee, you want one?" Instead of saying, "Would you like me to buy you a coffee?" This is how people really speak in daily life. Fast, relaxed, and informal. Reading conversations in novels, blogs, or even social media helps you understand these informal structures. You learn the flow of sentences, the use of idioms like hit the nail on the head or break the ice, and the casual phrasing that makes communication sound more genuine. By reading, you pick up these expressions and use them in your own conversations, naturally and without thinking about it too much. This is how native speakers speak, and the more you read, the more you'll sound like one too. It's not just about learning what to say, but how to say it, exactly like the people you want to communicate with. Here's the cool part. When you read a lot, you start thinking in English. So instead of translating your thoughts from your native language, you begin forming full English sentences in your mind. This means fewer pauses, fewer moments, and way more confidence when you're actually speaking. Let's say you're reading an article and you come across, "He couldn't make it because something came up last minute." Later, when your friend asks why you missed a call, you might just say, "Sorry, something came up last minute." Effortless, right? That's how reading turns into speaking power. So next time you pick up a short story, scroll through an English blog, or read subtitles while watching a movie, remember, you're not just improving your reading, you're training your communication muscles too. Reading helps you speak with confidence, clarity, and that natural English flow we all want. And the best part, you don't have to try so hard. It just happens one page at a time. Setting a reading goal is one of the most effective ways to stay motivated and ensure consistent progress when learning English. However, many people set goals that are either too ambitious or too vague, making it hard to follow through. The key to success is setting a goal that's realistic, achievable, and aligned with your personal interests. Here's how to set a reading goal that you'll actually stick to. The first step to setting a reading goal is to start small. Don't overwhelm yourself with the idea of reading an entire book every week if you're just getting started. A more achievable goal could be reading a chapter a day, or even just 10 to 15 pages. As you build the habit, you can gradually increase the amount you read each day. For instance, if you read one chapter every day, you're already committing to consistent practice without feeling pressured. Once that becomes a regular habit, you can aim for more. A goal like, I want to read more, is vague and doesn't provide much direction. Instead, make your goal specific and measurable. For example, set a goal like, I'll read 20 pages a day, or I'll finish one book every month. This way, you can track your progress and know exactly when you've achieved your goal. Specific goals also make it easier to fit reading into your schedule. You can plan a time each day, whether it's during your commute, before bed, or during lunch breaks, and ensure you stick to it. One of the best ways to stick to your reading goal is by reading material that excites and interests you. If you're not passionate about the material, it will be much harder to keep going. Choose books, articles, or blogs that align with your hobbies, passions, or areas of curiosity. For example, if you love cooking, try reading English language cookbooks or blogs. If you enjoy sports, dive into articles or novels related to your favorite team or athlete. The more engaging the material, the more likely you'll be to continue reading each day, making it easier to stay committed to your goal. Consistency is key when it comes to setting a reading goal. It's not just about the number of pages you read, but about making reading a regular part of your day. Set a specific time for reading, maybe right after breakfast or before bed, and stick to it. Over time, this will become a natural part of your routine. You can even set reminders on your phone or use a reading app that tracks your progress to help reinforce your daily reading habit. Tracking your progress is not only motivating, but it also allows you to see how far you've come. There are plenty of apps available like Goodreads, where you can set reading goals for the year, track the books you finished, and share your achievements with friends. Tracking helps you see if you're on pace to meet your goals, and it offers a sense of accomplishment when you finish a book or hit a milestone. You can also reward yourself for sticking to your reading goal. For instance, after completing a book or reaching a set number of pages, treat yourself to something small, like a special snack or a relaxing activity. Life happens, and there may be days when you miss your reading session or find that your goal isn't quite working. It's important to stay flexible and adjust your goals if necessary. Don't get discouraged if you fall behind. Just pick up where you left off. If you find that reading a certain number of pages a day is too much, adjust your goal. The key is consistency, not perfection. As long as you're still reading regularly, you're making progress. Sometimes, motivation comes from having others involved. Consider joining a reading group or an online community where you could discuss books and share your progress. Many online forums and social media groups offer opportunities to join reading challenges, where you can set goals with others and share your experiences. Being part of a group not only motivates you to stick to your reading goal, but also gives you a chance to exchange ideas, get book recommendations, and discuss what you're reading with others. This can enhance your learning experience and keep you engaged. Setting a reading goal is a great way to improve your English skills, but to stick to it, you need to keep it simple, fun, and aligned with your interests. By starting small, tracking your progress, and adjusting as needed, you'll be on your way to developing a strong and lasting reading habit. So why wait? Set your goal today and start reading your way to English fluency. Reading in English doesn't have to feel like a burden. With the right approach, it can be a fun and engaging activity. Here are some simple tips to help you make daily reading enjoyable and easy. Reading about things you are passionate about makes the experience much more enjoyable. Whether it's cooking, sports, fashion, or technology, pick topics that excite you. When you enjoy what you're reading, you'll feel motivated to continue. For example, if you're into sports, try reading articles or stories about your favorite teams or athletes. If you love food, explore English language cooking blogs or recipes. When you focus on subjects you care about, reading becomes more fun and feels less like a task. If you read new to English reading, start with short stories, blogs, or articles. These shorter texts are easier to handle and allow you to finish quickly, giving you a sense of accomplishment. You can gradually increase the length and difficulty of your reading as your skills improve, but starting small makes it easier to stay consistent. Reading doesn't have to be limited to books. You can use interactive tools like audiobooks, apps, or websites that combine text and audio. Listening while reading helps reinforce new vocabulary and pronunciation. For instance, use apps like Duolingo or Memrise for fun reading exercises. Listen to audiobooks and read along with the text to improve both your listening and reading skills. Interactive materials make reading more engaging and less monotonous. Set realistic and manageable reading goals. Instead of aiming to read a whole book in one sitting, try reading a set number of pages or a short article every day. Achieving these small goals will keep you motivated and make reading feel less overwhelming. Reading aloud can improve your pronunciation and help you connect more deeply with the material. You can also record yourself while reading and listen to the playback to identify areas for improvement. This method helps you practice speaking and listening skills at the same time, making reading a more interactive experience. Make reading more fun by adding a creative twist. For example, take notes on new words or phrases and try to use them in your daily conversations. You can also summarize what you've read through drawing or journaling. This helps reinforce new vocabulary and keeps the process fresh and enjoyable. Don't stick to just one type of reading material. Try mixing things up with short stories, articles, novels, and poetry. Switching genres keeps reading exciting and broadens your vocabulary. For example, after reading a science article, take a break with a fiction story or comic book. This keeps the experience varied and fun. There are plenty of apps and websites that make reading easier and more enjoyable. E-readers like Kindle allow you to highlight words, look up definitions, and track your progress. Using technology can make reading more accessible and interactive. For example, apps like Audible offer audiobooks that you can listen to while following along with the text. Using these tools can enhance your reading experience and make learning English more engaging. Celebrate your reading achievements. So whether it's 5 minutes or 50, read something today. Your words, grammar, confidence, and fluency will thank you tomorrow. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, and share this with a friend who's learning English too. Keep reading, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next video.